Hello friends, and welcome to the video. So I thought I'd do a little video in between the direct path videos, talking about the witness, because we are letting go of the witness now. We are dissolving the opaque witness, and it may seem like we are letting go of Atman. You know, the idea that Atman is Brahman, the self is the ultimate reality. But this is not what we're talking about when we talk about the witness. The witness is a tool for be able to reach enlightenment. Not all paths have the witness. There's, as Greg Good says, there's lots of non-dual paths that don't introduce the idea of a witness. But it's useful. It was useful for him. I also like it. If you don't have this, it really gives you some leverage. So you see first that you're not the body, and if you go directly to, well, I'm not the body, I'm this, or no, I am nothing, it can be a bit conceptual, and you kind of have to take it on faith. But as far as I see anyway. But when we say that I'm not the body, because I observe the body, I'm the subject, the body is the object, and then the mind as well. I see my thoughts, I observe my thoughts. They are the object, I am the subject. And then you have the sense of I, even. The feeling that it's me here being conscious. This also, when we look at it, is an object. And so we find that we are the witness. And where is this witness if everything we find is an object? But this separates us from the idea that we are the mind and the body. And it's a nice, easy way forward. You could, from this though, we have this big duality. So there is the witness and there's everything else. Now, the idea, there are different ways to get beyond this step. So we could jump into analogies and say, well, so in a dream, you think that you're the person in the dream, but in fact, the eyes that you have in the dream don't work. There is not light in the dream entering in the eyes. The things that are appearing in the dream are just appearing because you are the dream. They are the things you touch. I actually had a dream a few days ago where I could feel something was hot. It was actually, it was my mobile phone was overheating, and I could feel the heat. Now, there was no, there's no mobile phone, was there? There was no hand, and there was no traveling up my arm, the heat. But these things were just arising there. They appeared like they were subject and object, because this is how it always is. This is how we're conditioned. So even in dreams, when we are clearly everything, it feels like there's a subject and object there. So we could say, well, there you go. In a dream, you are everything. There is no duality. The things are known from the inside because you are the things. Even though they appear subject and object. And the interesting thing is that you are nowhere in the dream. Nothing in the dream is you. And not even the thing that's behind the eyes in the dream. That's not you either. You are the dream. You are every single thing in the dream. And so this is a step that we can take to dissolve the witness, to break this big duality that we set up. The way of teaching is called Adiropa Apavada. So it's superimposition and desuperimposition. So we impose the idea of the witness in order to be able to dissolve it later, as if you were cleaning the oven. So you spray the oven with oven cleaner, and you don't just leave it there. You wipe it all away. You wipe away the oven cleaner and the dirt inside the oven, but you have to leave it long enough to do the work. You can't, in this direct path, if you let go of the witness too soon, you won't be able to take advantage of it as a tool for learning for this exploration. And the same thing with arisings. Eventually, at the end of all of this, we will let go of the idea of arisings, but we have to let them do the work. We have to let the oven cleaner do its work first before we wipe it away, or we are left with these ideas that, well, it's just consciousness, I'm just consciousness. And it's very difficult. It becomes a cliche that you can repeat, but if you haven't internalized this, then it's just a mantra. Another way that we can dissolve the witness is an argument that, for example, Swami Savripananda gives it a lot, the lectern and the wood that the lectern is made out of. So the wood is like Brahman. It's an analogy. It's not really, well, I suppose it must be Brahman as well. But the wood is like Brahman. And the form, the lectern, the table, if you prefer, is made of wood. The wood doesn't depend on the table. You can, but the table depends on the wood. You can't, if you take away all the wood, there's no table left. And in the same way, in our experience, the objects depend on our awareness. Our awareness is always present. That is the wood in the experience. The names and forms that are there, like the shape of the table and the name of the table and the use that it's a table, these are on a different level of reality to the actual wood that is the substance. And we can see in this way, this is another path to this non-dual step. The way that we're taking in these direct path videos is really just the way that the whole direct path has been, which is just explore your direct experience. And now we've got to the part where we've seen that we're not the body, not the mind, and we still think that, well, we're this awareness, and we're exploring that, and that will eventually dissolve. But you have to leave it enough time to do its work. There are other paths that don't use a witness, but this witness is not the same as Atman. It's not the self. As Jean Klein says, because the witness is basically the subject, the ultimate subject, the thing, the knowing in which everything appears, there's nothing subjective about it. We saw in the beginning of the direct path videos that when you look at an apple, you just see color, and then you see, is there an apple and color? No, there is just color. And is there a you and the color in the experience of seeing? And no, there is just color. We immediately don't have a subject and object. The real, the eternal subject, the thing in which everything is known, that I know and you know, and this global open knowing is not subject. It's not a subject and object. The witness is, yes, something that we present, and then later we dissolve. So that's how Advaita Vedanta works. That's how the direct path works, is through superimposition and then deeper superimposition. Sublation is another word for when you go to another level. And this is a good way for some people, and other people prefer different ways. You could say Buddhism doesn't really, well, they don't have the idea of the self. And then devotional religions, they just go straight for dissolving into God. So kind of you dissolve becomes just everything becomes God. So that's another path into it. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.